a very much over coffee event to celebrate International Men's Day. And the main objectives really of celebrating an International Men's Day are to focus on men's and boys' health, improving gender relations, promoting gender equality, and highlighting male role models. And the broader and ultimate aim of the event really is to promote basic humanitarian values. The theme for this year is better health for men and boys. Every year, November 19th is now celebrated as International Men's Day worldwide to honour the men who are making positive changes in society while raising awareness for issues faced by the gender. This morning event is one such event, and we're delighted. We have another event at lunchtime. Hopefully you can join us for that also. And so we're delighted to be joined by the Student Welfare Officer, Peadar Collins. And Peadar is doing tremendous work in this area for students. And we're also joined today by student Seán O'Wale Kieran, and my Irish is not very good, but Mulkern. And Seán is a fourth year Gaeilge and History student and social media ambassador for the Glucksman Library. And Peadar and Seán are going to talk about the difficulties men face when talking about their mental health, what can be done to improve this problem, and why it is such an important issue. And I think we all know it is, with the increase of the young men taking their own lives, which is extremely worrying. So Seán will talk about also being done by the AreUL team and his reasons for getting involved in Movember campaign, where to date he has raised in excess of 2,700. It may have gone up since, Seán. So we also have included a link on the notice. So after the event, if you would like to donate, I know Seán would be extremely grateful. So I'm going to hand over to Peadar and Seán. And as mentioned at the end, if you'd like to put some questions in the chat box, I'm sure Peadar and Seán would be more than happy to answer your questions, or we can take questions at the very end also. So I'm going to come out of video and I'm going to hand over to the two gentlemen.
No problem. Thanks for that, Marie. So I'm doing lots of presenting skills these days, so still learning every day. But so as Marie said, I'm here with Seán, who's a fourth year Gaeilge and History student and social media ambassador with for the library, and also an ambassador for the UL Movember team, aka AreUL. You know, going off AreUL, you know, very punny. I like it. And so yeah, I have a few questions here lined up for him today, and hopefully we'll stick to them. I know it's very easy to go off tangents, but we'll be here anyway for maybe 25 minutes anyway, so we'll see how we get on. So I'll delve straight into it, Seán, if that's okay.
Perfect, yeah, absolutely.
So the first question we have is, why do men struggle to talk about their mental health? It's definitely been become more prominent in the last decade or so, and it's great to have, you know, conversations every year, and it's, you know, the more I suppose we talk about it, the easier it'll get, especially for men. And you know, I can come in and help you, you know, talk about these as well, but just on your own behalf, why do you think it's why do you think men struggle?
Yeah, well, first off, hi everyone. So I've been introduced there a couple of times, but just want to say hi personally. Yeah, I think, look, that's the whole reason we're here, because there is such a stigma around men's mental health, do you know what I mean? And it's something that, yeah, like you said, is more and more being talked about all the time, but I think like it's something that there isn't enough being talked about. And as a whole, like a lot of it stems from, you know, this idea of manliness, this idea of being the tough, strong man, battle it up, get on with it, do you know what I mean? I think, you know, when we were younger growing up, we always hear, geez, come on, crap on now, take it like a man. Don't worry about it, like, do you know what I mean? Which I suppose has almost become ingrained in that psyche of that mentality for men throughout their whole lives. Well, like, you know, if you have a problem, it's up to you to deal with it. It's up to you to work through it on your own. Do you know what I mean? It's your thing, battle it up, just take it. Which I think isn't, definitely not from my experience, isn't the way to deal with things. Do you know what I mean? Battling up and holding it all inside, it's never healthy. Do you know what I mean? It'll always come out, which I think is the scary thing. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's kind of the whole idea behind breaking this stigma, is to help people realize that you don't have to go through these things on your own. Do you know what I mean? That there is help out there. there's support systems there. I'm not even talking about professional ones or official services. I mean, talking to your friends, having a chat like this. I mean, Joe, we shouldn't have to have an official meeting to talk about mental health. Do you know what I mean? We shouldn't have to be able to set up this thing. It's just a conversation you should be able to have with your friends. Do you know what I mean? Something that comes up, something's a daily topic. So I think people struggle to kind of to come to terms with that, to come to that kind of realization, that kind of thinking that it's something that happens to everyone. Everyone struggles with their mental health. Do you know what I mean? So we all need to be able to talk about it a bit more.
Exactly, yeah, and I love your point there, saying we shouldn't have an official meeting to talk about mental health. I'm definitely trying my best to try and incorporate it into everyday conversation, because mental health is just another topic at the end of the day. It's like your physical health. If you get injured in the game, you go straight to mommy or daddy saying, look, I have a broken ankle or whatever. It should be the same issue with your mental health, and like it often comes across as a side of weakness, and that's unfortunately men, that's their perception. And like I think so a fraction of it comes from sport as well. Definitely, I've learned so much from rugby, like regarding kind of transfer skills, like time management, nutrition, commitment, the whole lot really. And I think one transfer skill that's kind of worked against me has been like mental strength as well. Like if you get an injury on the pitch, but you're like, no, come on, Peadar, let's get through it. Only 10 minutes left. I'm ran off my legs feel like jelly. No, you can't show the opposition that you're weak. Going to stand up straight, get through the rest of the game, and then if you might feel down, coming up to a game on the morning of the game, you're like, no, Peadar, come on, let's put this aside and concentrate on the game. And then subconsciously, you kind of bring that into your aspects of your life, thinking, when you're going into work or something, you're worried about something, and you just feel like, no, come on, you have to get through this. And so yeah, it definitely, I think on my behalf anyway, it definitely stems from sport as well. But it's obviously the whole wider perspective of, men just see it as a weakness. And just kind of following on from that, why do you think it's important that we change this issue? Because statistics show that, especially in the Republic, that male suicide rates are definitely higher than females, and we're losing men every year due to issues that could easily be solved if they just come forward. But that's the main hurdle that men can't get over, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like, that is the main reason. It can't be acceptable anymore to be hearing this many men dying by suicide. It's tragic. It's shocking to think that there's such a high percentage of men, and it's young men and older men as well. Like, I know people think it's more prevalent in younger men, but I mean, there's no way about it like that. It can't go on. It's not okay to think that there's this many men out there suffering on their own with these problems that they don't think that they can talk about, that they can bring to a public sphere. Do you know what I mean? It's just not acceptable. I mean, if we thought that there was, I don't know, again, very topical, like if there was some sort of illness, that a physical illness that some people were suffering from, loads of people and everything we could to cure it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, suicide and depression is as much pandemic as the coronavirus is. Do you know what I mean? It's that prevalent in society that it can happen to anyone. Anyone can become depressed. Anyone can struggle with their mental health. And that's why I think we really just have to change it, because it can happen to absolutely anyone. I think everyone needs to be able to just talk about it, be open about it, because we have to be able to overcome this. It's no longer acceptable to not talk about these things, because we can see the numbers, we can see the statistics of the amount of people who die of suicide every year, and it's one person is too many, let alone the numbers that are unfortunately taking their own lives. Do you know what I mean? So it has to change. We have to get these numbers down. That's absolutely like.
And so from on that then, what do you think can be done to get more men talking about their mental health? And I know with my own campaign, Speak for 15, and your Movember campaign, you might just think, there's only one person talking about their mental health, but it actually has such a ripple effect when some people see it on social media, and then, that person tells 2 more people, and it has a ripple effect like that, and it just makes it way more acceptable when you just see people speak up about mental health. And do you think what else do you think can be done besides kind of, I suppose, campaigns that can improve men to talk about their mental health?
I think nothing breeds action like action itself. Do you know what I mean? So like we're doing now, like just having a sit down, have a chat with someone about your mental health. Do you know what I mean? It's no different than talking about the weather. Do you know what I mean? If you're suffering from a cold, you're not going to stop cribbing and moaning to your friend about it. Like, oh geez, I'm clogged up, I'm coughing. Do you know what I mean? So why not be able to say, yeah, I'm feeling down. This is really stressing me out. I'm really anxious about this. Do you know what I mean? It's the same kind of idea. It just taking that first step to have that conversation, to talk to someone, talk to a friend. Like it can be the scariest thing in the world, but once you take that step, it just gets easier from there. And I know that from my own experience. Like when do you know what I mean? I've been open about it. Like I struggled with my own mental health in the past, but when I've been able to open up to people open up right back. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of openness just breeds openness. Do you know what I mean? So I think the very first step, take out all the official services and all the programs and stuff. It's just have a chat, have a conversation. It's that basic, and like that's why I think your own campaign, Speak 15, is absolutely fantastic. Like I know you based it around the Rugby World Cup, wasn't it, when you started off? Instead of just going on your phone and not chatting to people around you at halftime in a match, just sit around and talk. It doesn't have to be about mental health. It doesn't have to be all like, oh, I'm struggling with this and that. But open up, talk about your feelings. Like as men, we don't do it enough. We don't talk about our emotions. So, I mean,
exactly.
Like,
and
change.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Oh no, that's the change we have to make. We just have to be able to open up more. That's the first step, is opening up. And in a lot of ways,
and like just on that as well, like, you know, when I was kind of promoting conversation during my campaign, and like, you know, I wasn't, you know, promoting people to be like, okay, you know, Sean, let's have a talk about my mental health. And, you know, it's more like, you know, when you just have a normal conversation, more likely you're going to have a conversation about your ups and downs that you had over the last few weeks. And like subconsciously, you know, when you talk about your downs, you know, problem with work or with your family, you know, so that's actually really good for your mental health. And we don't have to, you know, label it as, you know, a mental health chat, but like just have a chat with someone, just talk about your ups and downs, and it just, something small like that can have such a powerful and a ripple effect for your other kind of aspects in your life, really. And so that's definitely the main thing really to do, is just to have a chat with someone. And like I was chatting to someone as well recently about it, and like, you know, you don't have to, you know, obviously talk about it on social media or like talk about to a whole your group of friends, but like, you know, we all have close friends, we all have really good relationships with our families. You know, use them, because they're their own personal therapists to you these days. You know, and just use them. Like, and I guess like even I was kind of laughing about it now, like even when, you know, when you're on a night out and you just get into, sorry for the cursing, but you know, you get into shy talk, you know, when you're having a few drinks and then, you know, ultimately, like, you know, having a DMC with a person, and I don't know myself, I don't know, you could speak on your half, but you're like, you get a really good DMC with a lad, and you're like, then the more you go on, you're actually opening up a bit. And like, you know, for some people it takes like, you know, a few drinks to get them to, you know, get talking about their mental health. And it's just people don't do it enough, you know, when they're bloody, you know, sober or just like during the day,
of course.
You know. So it's definitely been destigmatized a bit, like, but it's obviously it won't take it'll obviously take a long time for everyone to be like that. And regarding Movember itself, I know you've been is this your first year on it, or have you been doing this for the last few years?
No, this is my first year on it. It's kind of something I wanted to get into for a while. I don't know, was it partly I didn't know if I could grow a mustache before, or what was it holding me back. But this year I kind of decided, you know what, now I want to see if I can make a positive change for people suffering with their mental health. Now, like the Movember the charity, like it's men's health as kind of an umbrella term. So they kind of the men's health issue that people don't talk about. So they do a lot of work with testicular cancer, prostate cancer, things like that. But for me, it was mental health. As I say, like I struggled not that long ago. About a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago now, with pretty bad mental health problems. Pretty bad. Well, I wasn't overly depressed, but I was incredibly anxious. Like there were days where I couldn't leave my bedroom for anxiety. Like, and people wouldn't know that about me. I'm quite outgoing, quite kind of happy, chirpy, like, but on the inside I was really struggling. So when I kind of came out on the other side of that, I've always been quite open about it, because I realize how important it is to have those conversations. So I thought this year now I'll get involved with the Movember campaign and see where it takes me. And honestly, it's been incredible, absolutely incredible. Like, so I signed up with the AreUL team here in college, run by the fantastic Mr. Tarek El Masri. I think he's here, who's just doing incredible work with his incredible mustache to raise awareness and to raise funds for this. I think we've raised over 12 grand as a team, 12 and a half grand, something like that, between just 67 members, I think, off the top of my head. And then we, in terms of our move goal, then, like, so we set a move goal of moving X amount of kilometers. I think we set 600 kilometers, and we've gone nearly 1,500 in the month. Do you know what I mean? So there's Trojan work being done, absolutely incredible work being done for the benefit of men's health. Like, and it's just so rewarding to be part of that team and be part of that conversation. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant for me, and I'm just delighted to be able to be a part of it.
Class. And so you talked about your inspiration there. You talked about how they're getting on this year, the UL Movember team, and I know you mentioned that, you know, the team goals for this year, you know, is that the fundraising and the get moving goal. I don't know how many kilometers you're on, but is there any kind of deeper meaning really with the goal for this year in particular, or besides from those two?
I wouldn't say necessarily. Do you know what I mean? It's just trying to be as kind of active and as involved as we can.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Trying to raise as much funds as we can. I know that we've smashed our original goal for donations, and definitely the team has improved a whole lot from last year. Like, so I suppose it's trying to improve on that every year. Do you know what I mean? So this year is better than last year. Hopefully next year will be better than this year. It's, do you know what I mean, to try and get more people talking about it, to make it more of a normal thing to be seeing. Do you know what I mean? And that hopefully, I suppose, we won't be confining men's mental health to November. Do you know what I mean? It'll just be a normal part of everyday life. I think that's really the goal, is to break down those walls and to make this a more open, more accessible thing.
Exactly, yeah. And I know you have those two goals, but like, it's actually, from just watching on, like, it's great to see so many people like yourself and other members in the UL team just talking about themselves and what inspired them to do Movember. And as I mentioned earlier, about the kind of ripple effect that has on people. And it'd be great to see Movember go outside of November. You know, I don't know, we'll have to come up with another kind of catchy name that goes along with a month, but you know, that's for another kind of
we can brainstorm.
Exactly, yeah. And I guess, and I see, Tarek is the leader as well in Movember. Is whoever has the kind of best mustache today ultimately become the leader of Movember, or how does it work really?
Well, there's probably no competing with Tarek, in fairness. Now he's kind of showing us all up, but no, he's the brains behind the operation, in fairness. Do you know what I mean? He's our glorious leader. He's the one organising all the lads together and stuff, and he actually does events and stuff going on every week. So I kind of recommend anyone to follow us on social media. Week masterclass coming up now next week, which is
nice.
Should be pretty interesting, pretty cool, like, for those who aren't mad on the drink. Do you know what I mean? But
and I know this is your first year in it, but have you seen, I suppose Tarek could talk more about it, but like, has there been an increase with ambassadors over the last 2 years? Do you know, or has it become more popular to take part in this campaign? And
I think so. Yeah, I would say so. I think, and again, Tarek will know more than me in terms of numbers from last year, but I see, maybe it's just because I'm more involved in it, but I see a lot more men getting involved. Do you know what I mean? And I think even the lads who are not as a joke, but kind of just getting involved, Asher will grow a mustache for the month, see what the crack is. I mean, that's getting involved. That's part of it. Do you know what I mean? You're still getting in the Movember the kind of conversation. So I think, it's all positive. It's all good. I think there definitely is an increase, but the hope would be that carries on.
And then finally, just to kind of wrap up for anyone that's kind of maybe first year, I mean second year students who are kind of reluctant and maybe like putting themselves out there, taking part in this campaign, in the Movember, taking part in the Movember team. Do you have any kind of words of encouragement or advice for them to, kind of get out of their comfort zone and maybe take part in the initiatives like these, and like not even with Movember, but like just kind of, I don't know, for people who, because I know we're all going to be stuck at home at the moment for the next week or so, but we don't know what the future will look like in the next 2 weeks. But for anyone like in general that is kind of reluctant on putting themselves out there, do you have any kind of words of encouragement for them?
I think, a lot of the reasons people kind of hold back is because it's hard to put yourself out there. It's tough to take that first step. But I suppose I can promise you, once you take that step, it's much, much easier. And for me personally, I didn't really know any of the lads in the Movember team when I started off, but sure, now we're all in the same boat. Do you know what I mean? We're all one big happy team. Like, I mean, me and Tarek forever texting each other and checking in and see how the campaign is going. Do you know what I mean? For example, like, so it's a great community of people. It's the same as going into college and joining a club or society. Do you know what I mean? You will find like-minded people there. If you're passionate about the issue and you want to get involved, go and do it, because the people there will welcome you with open arms. The more the merrier, really. You can't have enough people having these conversations, talking about these issues. So go for it. That's
and like you said there, like, it's a great way to meet new people, and like, you don't, it's, and put your name in, as a clean slate. You don't have to have anything prepared or anything. Just put your name in, and surely, you're in the group chats with all the lads here. They'll give you ideas, great ways to make new friends, and especially for the year that's in it. For anyone that's had to come outside of Limerick to come into UL, it's a great way to make create your peer networks. So
absolutely, thanks
for that chat, Sean. Do you have anything else to say? But I just want to say thanks again for joining myself, and
fantastic.
Thanks again for Marita for signing it up.
Thanks, Sean and Peadar. I think some wonderful messages there. I really like your message, Sean, that openness breeds openness, hard to say, but it's so true. And when there's role models like you and Peadar, and we have Brent Pope at lunchtime today, and we have people like you that have the courage to come on and talk openly, it definitely helps others to do likewise. So really well done. I was trying to get Tariq to come on and show us his wonderful moustache there. Tariq, have you a video? Would you like to come on?
Oh, here he is.
Wrap up the donations there. You're doing amazing work. It's fantastic. And it's wonderful not just to focus on cancer, but on mental health this year. And I think you make some very good point there, Sean, that like this, the increase in the numbers of not just young men, but more mature men also committing suicide. It's just heartbreaking, when people could just, because the devastation that's left behind is just unpalpable. It's just awful. It's just awful. So wonderful. What's Tariq saying? Is he coming on?
He popped in there to make us all jealous a second ago. Here he is.
Hi, yeah, I just massive well done to you, Sean and Peadar.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, I had a head start, to be fair. But honestly, just to echo what the lads were saying, like it's such an important campaign, and Limerick had the highest suicide rates amongst males last year, and there was 282 suicides in Ireland last year of male suicides. And men are 75% more likely to take their life than women. And 75% of suicides in Ireland are men. Sorry, that's the actual statistic. But so it's just such an important thing to kind of get that conversation going. So these kind of things are just so important. And so thank you very much for kind of facilitating this opportunity. So, but yeah, I hope I hope to see some people at some of the events. And as Sean said, we have a mocktail masterclass next week. So hopefully some people can come to that. Should be good. But yeah, overall, well done, guys. You've done a cracking job. Peadar's doing a talk next Tuesday as well. People might be interested to see that. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you, Tariq, for your great reveal there. You might like to remind people how they can donate, Sean.
Oh yeah, so I have my personal donations link on my Instagram page. So it's Seán O'Mwell Kieran, which isn't easy to spell, but I can type it up in the chat maybe.
Yes, that'd be.
Yeah, it should be there now. That's my Instagram name. You can find it there. Or if you go on to the Movember website, you can find the AreUL team, or even my own page there. Wherever you like, the donations that come through me go to the team. So it's not about raising money through me. It's all about the team and the overall charity. Like, so whatever way we can get the funds, you know what I mean. That's the main way to do it. So yeah, the Movember website and look up AreUL. That's probably the best way to go about it.
So thank you both, and really well done, and continue your excellent work in this area. We'll sign off for now. So thank you, everybody.
Perfect.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Marie. Thanks a million. Thanks, Peadar.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.